for a different day. Who else you guys got? I got Coach Bud on the hot seat because realistically speaking, it's one of those situations where you might have just capped out your potential. Like, if this is your best coaching job that you could possibly do and it's only bringing you so far, I'm not going to say that you did a bad job, but you're not the man for the job. And I think that's where Milwaukee stands with Coach Bud right now. Like, if you could only bring us so far with all the star-studded talent and an MVP caliber player on the team, I don't know what else to do. And that's, I think, where Milwaukee sits right now.
Yeah, for me, I'm a group Coach Bud and Terry Stotts in the same boat. Like, based on the talent they have, it's hard to say that they're not doing a good job because Milwaukee's winning 65 plus games. If they're in the conference finals, whatever, but like, you can only just do the same thing so many times, and you can't. It's hard to turn over the roster. What's the easier thing to do?
Get rid of the coach.
Turn over the coach.
But that's what I was saying.
No.
We were talking about it in the beginning.
But the thing is, Chris, obviously, my argument was different. We've spoken about this off air, so we'll get into the other part of it. But if we're just talking about who should be fired, like, Coach Bud can't go to the conference finals or get bounced out in the second round, and every year, Mavs are just going to say, this year is different. You added Drew Holiday. What if you lose now? What's the next thing you're going to try and convince man that's different now? When you get a new coach, what? Mans are going to be better. We had an extra year with Drew Holiday. All of that. If you're not able to get to the finals, you got to move on from the man. Likewise with Terry Stotts, if it's first round and out, it's just time. I personally think that these mans have done good. Obviously, they've taken the team to a good spot. But once you get to it, as I said before on this podcast, once you start achieving a new high, that becomes the standard. Once you win 65 games, winning 65 isn't good enough anymore. So you have to be better. And if you're not, eventually you're going to get replaced.
This is how it was.
Fam, fully agree. I have nothing to add to that, fam. So get into what the beef was. Because me hearing that's my exact position. No different.
So where was the beef at then?
So, the beef comes when... And Robs, listen to this. So the beef comes is when 2 weeks before playoffs, I'm hearing a report that Stotts is on the hot seat if they don't perform X, Y, and Z. See, like, he's going to get fired. Essentially, he is fired if he doesn't achieve this. See? So then comes my question is, right? I understand that the man deserves to be fired. By no means am I saying the man should hold his job. But why am I hearing that 2 weeks before playoffs? If the ultimate goal is to win games, right? Why are you not taking into account what a report like that could do to your team morale going into playoffs when the ultimate objective is to win? Are you trying to evaluate your coach, or are you trying to win right now?
Now, hear my thing to that, right, Robs? What I was saying is, it doesn't matter. Because the mere fact that, first of all, these mans probably know when they're on the hot seat off rip anyways. Mm-hmm. You have that internal clock within you. You can sense the feeling around the building.
Agreed.
You know what I'm saying? You know when the temperature got warm.
Agreed.
You know what I'm saying?
Agreed.
So what I'm saying is now, once it breaks out to the media and the media starts becoming aware of it, you should have already been aware.
No, but it's not just him. I'm talking about the players, though.
But here's what I'm saying, though. Everybody can feel that. Has already felt that before. Like, everybody has that feeling. Now it breaks out to the media. To me, it doesn't matter, because here's what the guy is saying to him, right? The owner of the Blazers is telling Stotts and telling Bud specifically, right? Same thing you said. The level of success that you have reached is no longer acceptable, and you know it is no longer acceptable. And unless you get to here, I have no choice but to move on. Whenever he decides to make that clear to a man, whenever we hear that, that doesn't matter.
Let me respond to that, then you go.
Let me finish.
Yeah,
what I'm saying is, the right man will hear that and pull up his pants, fam, and put a belt around it and get to work, fam.
He's not dribbling the ball,
though. Get to work. Because, fam, if you can't pull up your pants, if you can't pull up your pants, we have the wrong man, and you need to leave.
So, Chris, this is my question for you, right? If Dame goes out there, what do you think is successful for as a success? What would you qualify as, hypothetically? What would you think keeps his job?
Stotts?
Yeah.
Conference finals.
All right. So say Dame goes out there, averages 40 for the entire playoffs, backpacks them to the conference playoffs. Does that mean Stotts pulled up his pants?
If Dame backpacks them and they get to the conference finals, he needs to thank Dame Dollar.
But that means
that may keep his job. I don't know if it means that he specifically pulled up
But
his
that's why I'm
pants.
asking you, what does pulling up your pants mean for a
But here's what I'm
coach?
saying. That doesn't matter though.
But no, I'm
That doesn't
asking.
matter
No,
because
I understand that you're saying it
we're
doesn't
asking for
matter.
the result.
Okay, but you're talking about him pulling up his pants. You're not saying him go get go get results. My problem is with your statement is the fact that I agree with you in the sense that mans are gonna feel it, right? But there's a time and place where you sit down and you talk out your goals. There's probably a time mid-year, and there's also a time at the start of the season where you tell a man, these are my goals for you.
Mhm.
See, my issue with it is whether or not you feel it in the air. There's a huge difference between a feeling and a fact. There's a huge difference about wondering something and being told something.
Yeah, you
So,
vocalize it. When you vocalize it,
right.
it's
So when
different.
it's vocalized now, and now man's like Dame, CJ, you're in the locker room. It's just a different feeling. And my opinion is, good teams, elite teams in this league, when it's winning time, none of that matters. What happens when KD? What happened that year when KD? There's a whirlwind surrounding what he's gonna do in the offseason. The Warriors said, "Nice, all that. We'll finish that when it's time. It's winning
Yeah,
time right now."
but that was in the air. Like they talked about it.
But I understand. But I understand, right? Even go back to the year before that when they won that second championship with KD. After the finals and they won, what do we hear from David West? Maz went through everything that year. Team dysfunction.
You hear that all the time. Last year, you heard LeBron James when they won the championship mid playoffs.
But that's what I'm saying. But that's what I'm talking about. The sentiment. The sentiment is when it's playoff time, nothing else matters.
And it shouldn't. But fam, that works for what I'm saying.
Nah, but Chris, here's the thing though. Here's the thing.
It shouldn't matter.
Hold on.
Pull your pants up.
If your main objective is to win, right? I do not say or do anything that can jeopardize that up until it's done. Once it's done, I'm gonna fire you.
Here's the thing,
Kev. Go ahead.
Here's the thing. I understand what both of you are saying, but the problem is, Chris' argument is that you don't gain anything by putting that dark cloud over your coach going into the playoff season. What do you gain from that? What do you gain from vocalizing that he's going to get fired?
Because if he's like, I can tell you what.
Hold on, Chris. You're telling me if he already senses it, he knows. So why do you have to vocalize it?
Because, as you guys said, there's a difference between you sensing it and it becoming a fact.
And that trickles down to the players.
If I want to know whether or not I have the right guy at the helm, you put the pressure on. Because why? Pressure makes diamonds, no? If he goes out there and I put the ultimatum and I tell Stotts, conference finals or you're out of here. He pulls up his pants. Yes, obviously Dame could go and backpack him, but there could be other aspects of the game that he facilitates that, or other aspects of the game where he also allows that 40 point per game, whatever, from Dame to propel it over to the conference finals.
Which isn't quantifiable, though. Which isn't
40 a game isn't 40 a game doesn't guarantee the Blazers getting over to where they need to go, right? So what I'm saying now is, even if Dame does do that, I'm talking about the results. And if the results come after I gave him the ultimatum, well, now I know I have a guy that I can say, can stand up to a certain amount of pressure. If he's going to fold the moment I tell him it's his job or his job is on the line, that means he's not the right guy.
Chris, how are you measuring that, though? How are you measuring that?
I just told you how I'm measuring it. I'm measuring it based on the results.
But you're giving me, you can't measure something based on the result because you have to measure how he got to the result. And if you're telling me he's not dribbling the ball, what measures are you taking to say that, you did a good job and you didn't?
That's all I'm saying.
If that's going to be the argument against what I'm saying, that means we can't argue coaches, period.
No.
Fam, look how many years.
Can't argue coaches then.
Year in and year out, we have the same debates of whether a man's a good or a bad coach, and we have no definitive metrics to prove it. We have no metrics.
So that's not my argument. That's not my argument was, I understand that the man needs to be on the hot seat. And I tried telling you that when we were having this conversation before, but you weren't hearing me. You were seeing it as me saying this man should keep his job. No, he should have been fired a year ago. Let's be honest. Why are we doing it now? Why 14 tits on the eve of playoffs? We're talking about 5 games before playoff starts. You're going to tell the media, the players have to hear confirmation, whether or not they felt it or not. They have to hear confirmation that every decision, every pass they make, every shot they make is on their coach's job now. It's just not needed. It doesn't do anything for your team.
Fam,
it doesn't.
The way I see it, bro.
You should hold on. You should want to win enough where you don't need your job to be on the line to want to go out there and win. And if you need that pressure, he should have got fired last year. Straight.
I agree. He should not need the pressure. Okay, but here we are.
So what changed between what changed between the start of the year and this year? They've played well for the most part, right? So again, if this, and I don't care who leaked it, The fact is that you made this public to somebody, you made it known to somebody where it went to the media. You were the one, the organization with the information. If you decide to tell Stotts, you decide to tell players, whoever, and it got leaked to the media, that's on you because you had the information. You could have held it. I just
Well,
don't.
fam, you're gonna tell them before you fire him. Man.
No,
Like,
I
you're gonna
understand.
make
No,
it
no,
known.
I understand, right? But what I'm saying is that it still falls on you if it gets leaked. Because if Stotts camp leaked this, who had the information first? The team did. They had made that decision. If you talk to them, if you told him at the start of the season, cool, he knows what will go on during the season. But 14 days before the playoffs,
It's not worth
I
it.
just don't rate it. It's not worth it.
It's not worth
You
it.
don't get anything from that.
You don't
To me,
gain.
bro. To
You
me,
just don't get anything.
you
All
may
you're
not
doing
gain
is-
anything,
All you're doing is
but you
bossing
also
up.
don't lose.
Yeah,
You also don't lose
That's the
to me
thing. You
because
can lose still. You can lose.
I don't. Nah, fam. If the man crumbles under the pressure, bro, then get out.
But
But you
hold on,
see,
but
now
this is
he's
the thing.
coaching for his
This is-
job as
no,
opposed
no.
to just coaching basketball. Like,
No,
what do
but
you
yo,
mean?
here's the thing. Here's the thing, Chris. Right? If you didn't tell him that his job's on the line and he crumbled, just fire him anyways. Imagine moving like you need to put this out there for him to be fired.
But what I'm saying is, mans are gonna know though. Like, you tell mans when their job is on the line. You don't just pop up and say you're fired.
But so I'm saying there's a time and place for that. Not 6 to 8 games before playoffs is all I'm saying.
Yeah, but for all we know, he did tell him, and obviously we're
I
going
know.
off the premise of it coming out right now.
I know that.
It could have just been Shams putting together a list and saying these are the list of guys where, depending on what happens this playoffs, they're gone. That could have very well been.
I don't disagree with you. I don't disagree with you on that. I'm saying we're operating under the standpoint that this is just being leaked to the media because somebody decided to tell somebody. I don't know. So I just feel like you have everything to lose in that situation because you can fire a man. You don't need a reason to fire a man in this league, especially a man that's he's not Popovich. Dwayne Casey won Coach of the Year and got fired a month later. Fam. You don't need a reason in this league. Okay, you don't need a
That's what I'm
reason.
saying. He didn't get it done, fam. And that's the same
But
thing.
yo, Chris,
That's the same
No
thing.
man is saying he should keep his job. But when it was going into the playoffs, not once did we hear Casey's about to be fired. That's my point. You don't want that turmoil in your team. You just don't.
It's a fact.
If the main objective is to win, you don't.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But
Put
yo,
your pants up.
let's transition.